Hello, 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 and welcome everyone to this week's Goblin-themed Q&A live stream. I am your Goblin Mail host, Mod Sani, and we are here with Mod Ed, Mod Tide, Mod Kieren, and a new face to the live stream, Mod Errol. How is everyone doing? And what have you guys been working on? We'll start with you, Ed.
Well, there may have been a Goblin quest that came out yesterday, and as this is the Goblin-focused stream, that was the thing that I was working on.
Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed?
Would you believe it? It says Land of the Goblins on screen right now. In fact, no, it says Land of Goblins on screen right now. No
Yeah.
Goblin focus at all.
None at all. None at all. Awesome. Tide, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been working on some nice, cool stuff. I won't tell you about just yet.
Tease.
Oh, okay. Secrets, more secrets. Okay, we'll have to wait and see what Tide's been working on soon. Kieren, how about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'll say now that I do need to jump out halfway through the stream as we need to take our kitten back to the vet for her final check after her op, so nothing to worry about. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of interesting stuff this week. I've been looking at some pictures for different content that we're looking at later in this year, giving feedback on those, and oh man, it's my favorite part of my job is just getting to see everything and showing off internally, and yeah, it's all still secrets for now, as Tide said, but.
Yeah, many secrets. Like it is exciting to see all the stuff from our end, so it will be even more exciting once you guys get to see it. But yeah, for now, we'll keep cards close to our chest. I'm glad the kitten's doing well though, Kieren. Errol, how are you doing?
I'm doing alright. I'm very nervous. And this week I've been mostly going through the post bag. I've been helping Posty Pete with that.
Awesome stuff. So yeah, we will come back to you shortly to give you a little bit of a grilling, as is per usual for any new mod that joins the live stream for the first time. But before that, let's get into the announcements. So first off, we have !poll 76. The blog for poll 76 is now live. Went live today. So have your say on clue scrolls, Torva armor, pet insurance, and much more in this upcoming poll. So use the command and see all of the proposed changes. Game update. Land of the Goblins makes its way to Old School in the newest game update. Typing in game update and check out all of the details on this quest, as well as the new Hope Spear's Will mini quest, including all of the other bug fixes and changes we've made over the last day. And lastly, stream summary. If you missed last week's Q&A live stream, we've been starting doing a new thing where we have the transcript for you in readable form, just to give some usability access for you all. So use that command in chat and check that out. And just before we go on to some UGC, I want to show off something I received from Jagex earlier. Which of these? You might have seen it in the most recent game update news post, but these cool medals. I don't know, production, if we can swing over to make me a little bigger. There we go. So here is one of the bronze ones in the flesh. I'm sorry for my crappy camera quality, but you'll have to do. We've also got the silver and the gold ones. So there they are. So we will be sharing some more information soon on how some of you will be getting your hands on them. But yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for more information. All right,
How did
so
you earn
let's.
them? That's the real question. What did you do?
Secrets, more secrets, Kieren. I can't. Don't out me like that, man. Come on. I have my ways, all right. I have my ways. Cool. Let's have a look at some player-created content, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this first thing, which is this video from Nilki. Do we have the sound production, or is it just the? I mean, as always, Nilki smashing it as normal. They're never failing to deliver. Every time I see something from them, it just keeps getting better and better. Crazy, crazy good. Awesome. Let's see a couple of other things. So we got the Apothecary of Varrock by the Scold 1. Very, very cool. I love seeing. There's so many more of these like 3D renders coming out now, and I'm loving seeing them. Cool. We have some more God Capes by Wizard Elysian.
Oh, they're cool.
Very, very cool.
We just need to find a way
want
to
the purple
how
one.
on earth we to introduce those.
We have Super Combat Bros from Soft Interest. I'd like to see some
Spin-off you
other.
weren't expecting.
I'd like to see some other characters from old school, like Smashified.
Just wait for the next Nintendo Direct. Who knows?
Just snaps into old school Smash Bros. Cool. We have the Rocky plushie from Witchcrafty. Again,
Oh,
another
that's
member of
really
the
cute.
community that
Cute.
just consistently makes amazing stuff. It's crazy, crazy good. And finally, we have the Blood Runecrafter by Ariton. Very, very cool
I
stuff.
wish I was
Thank you.
talented.
You know.
Imagine if all that was animated. That'd look like it's already amazing, but that would just bring it out even more.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can get an animated version, that would be great. Wink, wink, hint, hint. You know. Cool. Excellent. So, Mod Errol, we will come to you now. We've shown off the UGC from our community. First off, do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself, like who you are and what you do?
Sure. So I'm Mod Errol. I'm a copywriter in the creative services team, and what that basically means is that I do all the WODs all across the company. So emails, news posts, all that kind of thing. And the way I help the old school team is mostly by proofreading new content that comes out, so I'm digging around in the script and finding all the old lore in the game and transferring it to what we call the Lore Bible, which is basically this huge, massive internal wiki filled with all the story we've got so far. So that's great fun.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool job you have, Errol. I'm not gonna lie. I look forward to the news posts coming, postbag coming back every month. We do the Gazette. It's very, very fun.
I will admit, that's one of my favorite parts.
Good. I'm glad we were able to bring it back, and you've done a great job on it. So,
Thank you.
so tell us about your experience with old school and just RuneScape in general.
So, like a lot of people, I started playing RuneScape way back in the day, in 2004, when I was teeny tiny. And I wasted many happy hours leaving the gates open at pest control. So more recently, I just started a new group Iron Man account. It's been really fun re-experiencing all my favorite old quests. Although I did get squashed by a giant during Waterfall Quest a few times, and lost my whole group's hardcore status. So that was bad.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, there are definitely worse ways to go. Like
basically, I've just outed myself as a griefer.
I mean, yeah, there are definitely worse ways to go. Like,
Definitely.
rails in Dwarf Cannon, probably one of the worst ones to do. So at least you're not that level, so it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah, of course. So what's your most favorite thing about the game currently?
Obviously, I'm pretty into the quests. My favorite's the ones in Mauritania. It's my favorite area. I love that kind of old-timey gothic horror. It's great fun for me. Yeah, that's it.
Is there a specific quest line you'd want to carry on?
Ooh, I've actually gotten really attached to the Kieren quest line. I did the Kieren Chronicles a little while ago, and it was really cool. I like the story. Like, I know where it's going, but I still want to play where it's going, you know?
definitely not just saying that to try and wean some secrets out of Ed there, since he's on.
No, definitely not.
How
Look,
much
I
are
know
you going
what's
to pay me?
happening.
I could sit here right now and tell everyone how that quest line is going to end, but
Go on
that would
then.
need quite a bribe.
Yeah, plus Ed's quite armed up at the moment. He's just showing off that sword just just to make sure we know not to mess with him. Cool. What's your least favorite thing then about old school?
I really don't like that the clothes you get from Hunter don't actually boost your chance to catch things, and they're not even fashionscape.
What? Fair point. That's a very, very fair point. Cool. On that, this is the big question we always ask. But if you could add and remove one thing without a poll, what would it be?
Ooh, I think I'd like to see more cat quests. I'm a big cat fan. And somewhat paradoxically, I'd like to get rid of rat catchers, which I don't think I need to elaborate on.
I mean, yeah, Mod Kirby would be very happy to hear that. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of other people would as well. Cool. So thank you very much, Errol. You've got nothing to be nervous about, of course. But if you want to
Totally.
check out Mod Errol a bit more, you can use !newmod in the chat and follow her on Twitter. So cool. Without further ado then, let's jump into some questions. And of course, we're going to start with the Land of the Goblins questions. So the first one we have is from Shan, who asked, what made you select Land of the Goblins to be the next quest line to be brought to the game?
It was mainly because of us having that existing version of it. Like we knew it was a popular quest line. Land of the Goblins in particular was a popular quest, but having that like backup available, we wanted to. I guess it was to a certain extent an experiment. Like we've done lots of different things with quests in old school. We've done brand new quests. We've done sort of like quests that continue existing storylines, but sort of taken in a different direction to RuneScape, but still with a few elements there. We've never like backported a quest before, so we wanted to try that and like see what the response would be. And when we first announced it, I think it was it in December. The response was really positive, so we decided to move forward with it.
Cool, thank you, Ed. I'm sure there are a lot of other quest lines, we're looking at, and I imagine Ed want to bring and carry on. Yeah, more secrets, and we'll have to wait to see if any of those come out. Cool. The next question we have is, with Land of the Goblins continuing the Dorgshan quest line, will we see the Chosen Commander after this, or something completely new?
I guess it kind of follows on from that last one a bit. That Land of the Goblins was like the first time porting something over, and I guess sort of now we sort of see what people think. I mean, what do people in the chat think? Like, would people rather see Chosen Commander, or would people rather see us take the storyline in a new direction? I guess the thing for us on our end is that we have this. I say unfortunate, like obviously not unfortunate, it's great that we have so many different storylines in the game, but I guess the unfortunate part of it is that because there's so many, that even if we like tripled the output at which we made quests, we're still talking years upon years to even finish half of them. And being able to backport content into old school might give us the opportunity to finish a few of those off earlier, but of course the downside to some players might be that it's something they've seen before, so I guess it's weighing that up and seeing what people think. Like, Chosen Commander was a brilliant quest, and like, there's definitely some quests from like the 2008 to 2011 era I would not ever want to touch. Like, there's some quests that just don't want to be backported. They don't even want to be mentioned, but I'm sure everyone in the chat knows exactly which pillar-crushing, dungeoneering, suddenly styled quest I'm on about. But there's ones like Chosen Commander, which could potentially, work really well in old school, maybe with a few tweaks like we did with Land of the Goblins, polish them up a bit. So yeah, I guess that was a really long way of me saying that I don't have an answer to that question. It's kind of up to the players and what they'd prefer.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. I'm sure we'll be keeping an eye on what you guys think of. And we have been, especially with this quest. So yeah, just keep letting us know. Cool. The next one is RS Addict, please help. Would love to see more quests and lore revolving around the goblins. Can we expect any more in 2022?
Not really any more plans to do anything with goblins in 2022, and I guess as for how soon after that they reappear again, probably actually depends on the answer to the previous question. Like, let's make it very clear, I don't want to make any commitments here on stream and then go on Reddit later and find, oh, Moded promised this, but like, obviously, if we were to move forward with a backport of Chosen Commander as the finale of the Dorgishan questline, we'd be able to do that considerably faster than if we were to build something from scratch. So, if that was the direction we chose to go in, then we could quite possibly be looking at a Goblin finale Chosen Commander in 2023. But if we wanted to make something new, then obviously it'd have to start getting weighed up against all the other quest lines, because, as mentioned, there is a lot of them. Would people prefer a Dorgishan finale to a Fairy Tale finale, for example? So, yeah, another one where there's not really a proper answer to it yet, but there's some fun discussions to be had there, I think.
Yeah, for Original Prince asking in the chat, I don't think Sheepshearer questline is going to continue anytime soon. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I'll have you know that that last year I actually I had a pitch for not a full quest, for part of another quest, which I'm not going to go into details on because that project ended up getting cancelled awkwardly. But it did involve penguins and sheep shearing, so never say never. Maybe there's a possibility that Sheep Shearer 2 could still happen.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ed. All right, cool. 2007 Scape is wrong. Has the team considered adding a raid or skilling activity to Dorgish Khan to revitalize the city, possibly as part of the eventual finale to the Dorgishan storyline?
Was this question taken from 2007 Scape?
I imagine so. Yeah.
I think we. I don't know about something as big as a raid, but I think we definitely should. Like, regardless of whether we do our own unique take on the Dorgishan finale, or if we backport Chosen Commander, I think whichever one we go with, I think we absolutely should use it as an opportunity to add more content to Dorgish Khan. It's such a beautiful place, and you just never go there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Even without the new quest, you get to the city and there's basically little reason to ever go back, right? As soon as you unlock it from the existing quest. So I think even now we could probably add something there, and even more so something that's unlocked with a finale quest as well. I'd certainly love suggestions. I mean, there's lots of suggestions all about the lamp fixing activity, but I'd certainly still like something a little bit more ambitious than fixing the lamps around the city as well.
Yeah, I mean,
what about
it's my personal. Oh, go on, Tide.
No, you go first. I'll go after.
Okay, I was going to say it's my personal favourite storyline from Old School, and I remember back in the day, like proper back in the day, just roaming around Dorgish Khan, trying to find something to do because I loved the city, and there was nothing, which is such a shame. So yeah, anything added to that would be amazing.
Or what about an expansion to the train system? You could have all these tunnels that you have to go empty out. They could have all these resources in it, maybe some monsters or something you have to fight.
Yeah, that would be fun. Like you have to fight your way through the train.
Oh, I like that. I like that idea a lot. Yeah. Okay.
You can steal it.
Cool. Cheers, Errol. Cool. So the next question we have is from OSRS user. What was your favourite part of working on this quest line?
This is a bit different, this one, with it being a direct port over. Like, there wasn't as much opportunity to, I guess, for creativity, but I guess there's some like different like aspects to it that were quite fun with this one. Like, probably the bit I had the most fun with was the sneaky inclusion of an extra music track that I don't think players were expecting. We said it would be a port of the original quest with a few enhancements, but we also use it as an opportunity to bring in one of the music tracks from Chosen Commander at the end. So that was really fun to include.
Yeah, it's just it slaps the new track. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a really nice sounding track.
Cool. Do we want to take one more question, Kieren, while you're here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. All right, the next question we have is from Geriatric Pancake. Are there any plans for the goblins located on the eastern shore of the River Lum to eventually be relocated in a further expansion or future expansion?
Is this a reference to something? Or is this just a completely arbitrary request for the goblins to be moved?
I think it's just an arbitrary request, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's sacred. Like the goblins in
Yeah.
Lumbridge, like they have no reason to be there, and it's absolutely terrible.
Their
Someone should really chat to the Duke about why they're all still there and why he's done nothing about it. But you can't take the goblins away.
Yeah, if we do that, how will people pay the toll for Al-Kharid? We can't all go off
You've been there.
rescuing princes to get a discount.
Yeah,
The whole
I'm sorry,
economy of
Jared.
Al-Kharid would be ruined.
Exactly.
Just see it go all downhill. The gates permanently closed. You can't enter the desert ever again.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
have to walk around
Done.
now.
Just through
Been there all that time. It makes you think, what else could
Hang on.
they've done there?
I've got it. There's a quest here. A quest where the player works with a Duke to drive the goblins out, and it completely destroys the economies of both Lumbridge and Al-Kharid, but they actually have to invite the goblins back again.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, add it to the 2023 roadmap. Cool, awesome. Kieren, I'm guessing we've got to say goodbye to you now. Then.
Yep.
On that
Sorry,
note.
it's such a short little, I don't know, short little appearance from me today. But I'll see you all later.
Cool. Thank you for coming on, Kieren, as always.
No problem. See you later.
See ya. Awesome. So next question we have is from Daklos Doof. I hope I've pronounced that right. During Death to Dogshan, we show Zanuck around Lumbridge. Can we get some new dialogue for the NPCs that were added since Death to the Dogshan? It'd be nice if Zanuck could learn about Iron Men and have some surface beer. It's just like a request for a date with Zanuck.
A date where the whole of Lumbridge is invited.
Yeah.
I guess it probably would be nice to go back and add some dialogue, though this is a complete tangent and potentially a risky take, especially based on what I just said about Lumbridge being sacred, but there's too many NPCs in Lumbridge. Like, there's so many, like, tutors and stuff that don't really actually teach you anything about the game. Can we delete some of them? Like,
Set the goblins on them.
yeah, we could replace them with more goblins, more room for goblins.
Yeah, more goblins.
I mean, I feel like there's a certain NPC that a lot of people, including a couple of JMods, would like to be seen gotten rid of.
So we polled removing him. We didn't poll killing him. Just saying. There could be maybe in the quest where the goblins are driven out of Lumbridge, there might be a few casualties.
Yeah. Maybe that's the price for them coming back.
Yeah, poll 77 maybe? Question mark? Cool. The next question, or final question we have about Land of the Goblins is from Andrew is Famous Now. You're welcome. Dorgish Khan and Keldagrim have started having important political and economic ties to each other. When the Red Axe continues to rise and as Bandos continues to run amok, can we see how this affects the intergovernmental relationship?
Ooh.
I was not expecting that question.
Ah.
No, I wasn't. We need quick make-up an answer.
Okay. I guess part of me hopes they're going to become closer dealing with their separate issues. But then again, I love complex fantasy politics, so hopefully not. I guess you've already seen a bit of kind of conflict there, with the Dwarven engineer telling the Dorgishan they need to be more efficient or whatnot. So I can see there being a little bit of a culture clash.
Could be a fun spin-off quest, even if it's not included in the Dorgishan finale.
Yeah.
Maybe a spin-off quest involving driving goblins out of Lumbridge. Have I killed that one yet?
What
What if two things is going to happen by the end of this stream? Either we're going to go away and we're going to make that quest straight away, or we are never going to be able to talk about goblins ever again.
Yeah.
How about we're digging a new train tunnel and accidentally, those goblins, some reason
Goblins
get
fall through the middle.
pitfall,
There's no hope for maybe that's the way we get a Goblin League going is they fall into a pit into
Into the goblin dimension.
yeah. All right, cool. Thank you all. Next, we've got some questions on general lore. Mr. G asks, is the higher quality standard for quests the driving reason behind only releasing 1 or 2 a year?
Mr. G, you're coming in with a... That's a hard question. That's a complicated question. There's multiple reasons why the number of quests have gone down per year, and yes, this is definitely one of them. Like, we want to make sure that all the quests we add to Old School are of high quality and they actually have a place in game. We don't want to do any more rat catchers, and when we have ballsed up in the past, see Night at a Theatre, we've immediately gone in to rework it to make sure that these quests are of a high standard, because otherwise, what's the point of it even existing? So it's definitely part of it, but it's definitely not the only reason. Just in general, quests do take longer to develop now, even maybe when you put the quality aside, the game is much bigger now. There's a lot more systems to plug into and dodge around, and I know as some people on Reddit and in the Twitch chat are probably already saying right now, lots of spaghetti to untangle is the unfortunate reality of it. So that is one aspect. It's another thing is that, again, quality aside, our quests in general are bigger now in Old School. Back in 2005 to 2007, a lot of the quests they were releasing were small quests, and I'm going to preempt the question that's probably already appearing in chat as well of, why not just add more small quests, which we absolutely could, but the thing about those small quests they were releasing back then was that they were kicking off storylines. Making a quest like Plague City is not a very big undertaking, but at that point you're then committing to multiple sequels to it. And we're now at the point where all these storylines have had their small quests, and they've now got to the point where they need something bigger because the quest line needs to grow, the quests need to get more serious, more boss fights, more puzzles, stuff like that, because otherwise, there's no progression of a storyline if the gameplay isn't progressing as well. So we kind of need to make the quests bigger, but we definitely could and probably should try to do a few more small quests, and hopefully people will see that this year. Next month we've got the Temple of the Eye quest coming out alongside Guardians of Rift, and that's a bit of a smaller quest than maybe some of the ones we've done recently. So, yeah, quite a few different reasons. That is definitely part of it. One thing I will say, because I've seen it a lot on Reddit recently, I know, what on earth am I doing reading Reddit? Very silly of me, but it's not because of polls. It's not because we have to poll them. All of the quests that we poll, they're super popular. They pass 90+%. Polling is not a barrier to releasing more quests. So, you tinfoil hat boys on Reddit, you can calm down. I promise, it's not the hat. It's unfortunately various other reasons. But yes, we want to do more. We probably will realistically never be able to do the amount that we're getting done back in 2005 sort of time. But I definitely want to start seeing us do more than 2 or 3. And I think this year we are already going to see a few more.
Yeah, I hope so too, because I love quests, man. I love them so much. So, and the quality of them have been amazing, especially, something like AKD last year was so good, so good. Cool. So Paulette42 asks, and it's sort of referencing a previous question, but have you thought about merging quest lines together? Right now, it seems like the number of quests released per year is very minimal compared to how much there is to continue. And merging quest lines would help on both fronts. What are your opinions on this?
I guess it's kind of connected to what we were also talking about earlier about backporting and stuff, and again, going back to what was said before, that even if we double the amount of quests we release, it's still going to take years to finish off every storyline because there are so many of them. And as nice as it would be to be able to make custom bespoke quests for every single one, I think we probably do need to consider ways that we can like speed up the rate at which we finish storylines off. So backporting is one of those answers, and this maybe is another. Like, can quest lines be merged? Like, it's something I'd be cautious of. I don't want to feel like we're compromising on quality just to try and rush these quest lines out and get the stories finished faster. And I think back to, I can't remember what year it was, but when the second Penguin quest was released, it had some tie-ins to the Slug storyline. I seem to recall it actually being having a bit of a mixed reception of like trying to tie these two storylines together. So even though the quest itself was quite popular, so it's something to be mindful of. It's a possible solution, and in some cases it might work really well. And I guess going back to the other question that was mentioned earlier, the goblins and dwarves already have some connections. Maybe we can go down that route a bit more. Just, yeah, definitely a possibility.
I mean, yeah, you could
You don't need-
unite a lot of it under the ham-esque tirade against all all monsters. So it'd be an interesting take.
Yeah, all I was gonna say was it'd have to make sense, really. You don't want to force it.
Yeah, agreed. Like quality over quantity, I think, is the best way for this. Cool. Our legacy asks, could we have more easy, medium difficulty quests to be part of a quest line? Expanding and concluding quest lines has been cool and all, but I think it'd be great for more lower level quests could be added as a way to build up the lore better. Some of the Grandmaster quests in the past just introduced casts of new characters that could have been introduced in smaller quests, which I think would improve the much beloved storytelling of RuneScape lore.
Big question. I guess we kind of have already answered this one. Like, there's a reason why we're not doing as many smaller, easy, medium quests. That's because the game already has loads of them. They already exist, and to keep continuing the storylines, the quests need to get bigger. I still would like to do more, though. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think that when Temple of the Eye comes out next month, I think like players who sort of like feel this way might see that. I can't say anymore because it'll spoil things, but just that is going to be one of those kinds of quests. It's a standalone quest that also introduces characters that we might want to use again in the future, which will be quite nice.
I mean, we got a peek at it today, which was quite interesting to see. So it's looking good. That's all I will say. It's looking good. So, cool. Treble Boost asks, are there any ideas or plans being tossed around for a climax of some sort for the overall story? Nothing too huge like a sixth age, unless, but something that brings the whole of the game together and isn't part of any existing quest line.
I feel like for most questions on this stream, I sort of like dodged around and given half answers, so I'll give a definitive one to this question. No, that's not something we want to do. It's the kind of thing that works really well in RuneScape because of the way their storytelling works, but it's just not something that fits old school. Like, the fact that we have so many different storylines, it's a good thing, not a bad thing, and to just have one climax of like all of that, I think would lessen those quite a bit. Now, that's not to say that there can't be crossovers, like, as we've already talked about quite a bit of like characters that are established in one storyline, maybe hopping over and appearing a bit in another one and stuff like that, maybe even storylines potentially combining in some places, but one massive climax quest that resolves everything, ties everything up in a neat bow, it's not really the kind of thing that would work.
Instead of doing this, I'd like to just expand on the world, really, like add some more places for the player to go. That would make sense. I don't know, we got whole of the south, east, northwest. It's not just what's there. There could be more.
Yeah, to go on Ty's point, there's plenty of things, that we could do with the world as it is, and beyond that. So I think, expanding on that is such a better idea than trying to like finish the world we currently have, which is seems a bit, I don't know, silly.
Just turn off the servers one day. One big quest, and when you finish it, just everyone gets logged out.
All accounts are banned. That's it. Done.
Finish it, boy.
slowly unban them over a couple of years, and they can start popping into this new world. Cool. Majestic Progress 52 asks, what are the chances of some quests directly involving some gods, such as Saradomin or Zamorak? Maybe something rhetoric from Zamorak, talking about his fights with Saradomin over the years.
This one's another definitive no, I think. And again, it's just because it's one of those things that doesn't really fit the like style of narrative in old school. And it's something they did in RuneScape, and again, worked really well for them, but I think that makes us all the more reason why we shouldn't do it. It's like, we shouldn't just follow that same path that they followed. I think the closest we ever want to go to interacting with gods is the kind of stuff seen in Song of the Elves, where you get like these sort of little glimpses into maybe what the characters of these individuals is like, but never really the full story, and you definitely you never get to like properly meet them, only see like sort of what they've left behind. It just adds a lot more mystery, and that's sort of like what old school storytelling is built on, not having all the answers. Yeah, I don't think we will ever actually see Saradomin or Zamorak or any of the other gods, and apart from maybe sort of like brief flashbacks or something like that, but definitely never get the player interacting with them.
Cool. Thank you, Ed. I think this is like in relation to that. But another question from Andrew is famous now, so yeah, double welcome. I've heard that the old school team has committed to no god theme quests, which would include goblins and Bandos, the big high war god. Is that true?
So hopefully yesterday's update showed that that's not the case, and the important, I guess, distinction between this and the previous question is that content themed around the gods is absolutely fine. In fact, it is integral to pretty much every single quest series in old school. Like every bit of narrative in old school comes from the gods in some form or other. So god themed content and god themed storylines will always have a strong place, and we will always be doing them. Like, you just won't be meeting the gods. So yes, there'll definitely be more god themed content. There's definitely not a ban on that. You just won't get to meet the gods.
Especially Sheep Shearer probably has one of the most important god ties amongst the quest lines.
Whoa! Don't go spoiling
Sorry,
that.
I might have said too much.
That one's top secret.
Cool. Daklo's Doif again. Early in OSRS's lifespan, let's talk about adding quests that would explore the backgrounds of iconic RuneScape NPCs, such as the Sani Lady. Is this still being considered? This sounds like a fun way to add some smaller quests.
Was this question actually from Mod Sani?
No, definitely.
Yeah, it's a little
not.
suspicious, the phrasing there.
Didn't just steal a username from halfway up the sheet and replace it my own one with it. So.
Sure.
I think this would be really, really cool. Think of all the fun little side quests you could add around the world.
Yeah, this is
Maybe
something I'd
something
like
like
to do.
Or like, we could look at it for the future Twisted Tales, maybe. That'd be quite interesting. I want to know.
Yeah, I guess coming back to sort of the questions asked earlier about smaller quests and stuff. If this is a way to do smaller quests, rather than trying to kick off more storylines, a few more fun ones like this. We definitely haven't done enough of those.
Answer some of the little questions.
Yeah, stray dog quest, maybe.
You can
One
build
day.
him a little home.
Okay.
That's all I want, man. I just want him to be happy. QuestCape TTV asks, does the old school team have any plans to release Arpasandra, Home of the Gnomes? I hope I pronounced that right. In the near future. Would love to see glue-free questline continued, hopefully even meeting them, and hopefully the homeworld alongside it.
Near future's nice and vague, so I can say yes, and I'm not wrong. But on a more serious note, not anytime super soon. But interestingly, the other quest that is mostly complete in the 2007 backup, alongside Land of the Goblins, was Path of. I don't actually know how you pronounce his name. Glufrey? Who knows?
Raspberry?
Path of the Dude.
That
Path of gnome thing, dude, whatever. Yeah, that one. So now that we've done Land of the Goblins, like that is another one that could be ported over, and like similar to Land of the Goblins, it'd be like much faster than making something new. So I guess flipping back to sort of like the question I sort of asked earlier, like is that something that people would be interested in? Because if so, that's something that could come relatively soon. That one would be even quicker to do than backporting something like Chosen Commander, because this is not actually a backport, it's instead extracting something from the backup and just finishing it off. It wouldn't even need any like major tweaks really beyond just the like usual polish and stuff that we've done to things. So that could definitely happen soon. As for when the city comes, who knows, and probably potentially could depend on if we decide to backport that or not.
I mean, I'm now reclassing it as the dude storyline officially, so.
Path of the dude.
Cool, thank you guys. Missing Pair asks, in relation to the Majorat series, have you thought about how Temple of Ikov and Hazel Cult will work with an eventual continuation of this series? Considering their multiple choice endings, will there be a canon outcome to each? Or will the choices impact a theoretical sequel?
Don't know.
I seem to remember RS3 did it with like one canon ending, right? Which because they had a lot of issues with various branching choices.
They've done more sequels to like Majorat stuff than we have. I say more, we haven't done any. So yeah, and it is an issue they ran into quite a lot of working out what to do with this stuff, and
yeah,
there's a reason why those are the only two quests that work that way. You know, it was a fun experiment like back in the very early days when they were still sort of like yeah, like branching storylines and like multiple choices and stuff is like it's so fun to do in games, but it's something that doesn't really work as well with a game with such like such long-term storytelling like an MMO has. Like you can play a game like, you know, that lasts like 10 hours or whatever, make a multiple choice, then go back and play it again, and that's it, it's all done. But
yeah,
with quests like this, you know, when did those quests come out? 20 years ago? Like 20 years later, and those choices still have impact. So we will, when we come to them, and I don't know when that will be, we will probably do the same thing what RuneScape have done, where regardless of the choice you made, it will still sort of reach the same end point, maybe just slightly different dialogue and stuff. And I appreciate that's not like the most fun thing in the world, because it makes you feel like your choices don't matter. Like, it does suck a little bit, but unfortunately it's like the best option compared to like the alternatives of having like, you know, like with Hazel Cult, for example, like a character, such a notable character, like major character as well in the Majorat like lore, just potentially just never appearing again.
I mean, you could, I don't know if it would be possible, but you could track once a quest comes out how many players have done each ending, and then the majority wins.
We'd certainly have a lot of data on that, right? 20 years worth of data.
Letting players like decide narrative through popularity is something that a few games have done. It's something that RuneScape have actually done. It's interesting, but it's also really scary because there's just so many different like considerations and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine it's a difficult one if we were gonna do something like that. It'd be very, you know, a lot of planning around. Oh yeah, definitely interesting, but yeah, lots of planning. Cool. New account XYZ asks, what's your favorite quest line you want to or are secretly working on? We're not going to tell you. Continue on old school. You know what? I'll go around the room. We'll start with you, Ed, and then we'll go to Errol and then Tide.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to reveal any secrets for a start. Like, I'd go with a Majorat. Like, vampires are probably my favorite quest line, but I've already had the opportunity to make 2 quests in that storyline, so I'd at this point want to work on something that's not really been touched in old school. And I guess when you think about like classic RuneScape questing, like nothing beats a Marja out. We just sort of missed them with the old school backup. They really started to come into their own with all like the massive quests they had, like Wild Gothic Sleeps and stuff in like 2008 onwards. I'd really love to do like an old school take on a lot of that stuff. And maybe, going back to what we talked about earlier, maybe there's also opportunity to backport a couple of those as well alongside some new stuff. Maybe a nice mixture. Depends what people fancy.
Cool. Errol, what about you?
So apart from Sheep Shearer 2, I'm gonna stick with my earlier answer with the Kieren storyline, because it ended on such a massive cliffhanger. I have to know.
Who would do
Need
that?
to know what's going on.
I wonder. How about you, Tide?
Well, I'm going to be a bit biased about this one, but I want to see a continuation of the pirate storyline. I want to see where the pirates might go next. You know, maybe the past of Royal Tranquility. Maybe he's not who he seems. We don't know. That'd be something for everyone to find out if we did continue with it.
I mean, I'm very biased, like I said at the start, but it's the Goblins for me. But I do want to know where the hell the charters that you get from Olaf's goes to. I want to know that. So that would probably be the other offbeat one. I want to know where I want to explore the seas. Let me explore the seas. Cool. Missing Pair asks, I have a theory that the Temple of Eye is named that because it takes place in the High of Hostilius, the giant demon whose body contains the entire abyss, at least in RS3 lore. Without confirming or denying that theory, how much impact does late RS2 and RS3 error lore have on the direction of content outside of continuing shared questlines?
Love a good theory. So yeah, I'm not going to confirm or deny anything, but what I can confirm is that while it's not mentioned in Old School, it is very much still canon that the Abyss, or at least a part of the Abyss a player visits in Old School, they are inside Hostilius' body. I think you probably sort of like get that vibe from like the way it all looks. Yeah, as for whether we do anything like that, who could say? Yeah, and I guess the other half of the question, like that lore definitely does have an impact. Like we always try to strike a balance with Old School of like sharing like the same history, I guess, with RuneScape, so we don't just suddenly go off a complete tangent and start retconning and contradicting every quest in game, but also like trying to do something new. So generally, in most cases, like the history is the same in both games, but like the future is the thing that's going to be different.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Andrew is famous now. You've got a hat trick here, mate. So yeah. Bird, thank you, is in order. Lore-wise, how are the Camdazol golems connected to the Essence golems of the Mage Training Arena and the Clay golems of Uza and Eladinis?
If I remember right, they're all the same technology and magic, right? So like the user golems are the original models, and some of those were taken away by mysterious forces, who then brought them to Camdazal, improved on them, and yeah, that's how that shakes out, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of stealing with the golems. Yeah, like the
They're
ones
very
at Uza
stealable.
were like maybe some of the earliest ones, and you probably sort of get that vibe just by going there and looking at them. Like they're very quite primitive looking.
That's where they're the cutest.
And then yeah, there was maybe a bit of stealing going on by certain people that somehow involved golems finding their way underneath Ice Mountain, which then may have been stolen by some Imkando dwarves who combined it with some of their own technology to make some more golems. And maybe they then lent some of that technology to some friendly Saradominist wizards, and maybe they used it for something. Maybe.
I feel like these golems are not catching a. I feel like these golems are not catching a break. Like they're...
Everyone wants to steal a golem.
How do you steal a golem? Do you just tell it to come with you, or
Just ask really
reprogram
nicely.
it?
Yeah, you write some instructions and slot it in the back of the head. You just need to make sure you got that key. Cool. Geriatric Pancake. I hope this question is a bit better than your last one. Currently in leagues, it is
What was
solidified
their last one?
The last one was the one about moving the goblins.
Oh,
So I'm unsure if I even want to ask this, but I'll give you a pass.
that was a great question. We've already designed a quest based around that question.
Yeah,
that was
true.
great.
All right, I'll let you off, geriatric pancake. You're all right. Currently in leagues, it is solidified that there are alternative dimensions and realities all happening simultaneously within Old School and the RS3 universe. In fact, we see many different changes to lore between the two games which solidify that. Although Old School lore is similar, it's obviously a much different. A major example is Fossil Island versus Land Out of Time, suggesting that the needle in RS3 is not present in Old School. Their question is, will there be any solidified lore reasons given within the Goblin series or other series as to why this rupture in time has occurred?
Well, that's big.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I was talking about.
Sometimes it's better to leave mysteries unsolved. Like, I think it's exciting enough to know that there's multiple Gielanos floating around out there, without necessarily going into the nitty-gritty details of how that happened.
Yeah,
Now
definitely. You can run into the risk of writing yourself into a corner, and I guess this kind of connects to what we were sort of just talking about with like the history mostly being the same, but like the futures being different. So I guess if there were to be a point of like differentiation, like the biggest one probably is the return of the gods in RuneScape. Like that's probably sort of like the defining difference between the two games. That's something we don't ever want to do in Old School, as sort of discussed earlier. Like as for the events leading up to that, it's kind of hard to say really, because a lot of it is obviously connected to the Marjarat questline and what we decide to do with that, how much of it we choose to like keep the same. Obviously, Walgothic Sleep's very iconic, so maybe that would be a quest that we would choose to like eventually backput into Old School. But there's definitely some things we want to do differently with the Marjarat storyline. But whatever we did, we'd have to make sure it ends in a way that doesn't then lead on to the gods returning. So maybe that becomes the point in time. But I don't think we'd ever like say that in game. I don't think something would ever be acknowledged in game. Like two of the characters within the Old School universe, like they're not aware of these alternate timelines, whether or not they do exist, sort of thing. So it's not something that'd ever be like properly acknowledged, I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, we acknowledge it in leagues, but that's a leagues thing. That's its own
That's
thing.
a fun thing about leagues. Leagues can be anything.
Yeah,
Goblin League's happening next, so we're gonna get we wait for that.
Yeah, this league is definitely the most mysterious one yet in terms of lore. So maybe we'll reveal some more in the future. Who knows? Mr. G asks, if someone wanted to actually learn the lore within the game, what would be the best way to do so? I think this is a great question, actually. Is there a library that contains details of the God Wars, or is this just little Easter eggs dropped everywhere?
I think it probably depends on your playstyle. Like the way the lore is like probably like meant to be experienced is to just play through the game, like literally start from tutorial and like play through every quest, sort of like in the audio encounter them and stuff like that, and just like explore it very naturally. But if you prefer to spacebar through quests, like I know there's a lot of resources online. Like the wiki have a lot of lore information. There's some great YouTubers out there who like do lore recaps and stuff. People would prefer to explore it that way, but I guess the cheat answer is just like playing the game and like exploring it and discovering and stuff like that.
I think that's the best way to experience it.
Read all the books, right click on all the examines.
Right click on everything.
Literally everything.
Lore is stored in the examine text.
Cool. Andrew is famous now. I'm sorry. I'm gonna miss your question. You've had too many, I think. So I'm gonna skip you over.
Not so famous now, are you, Andrew?
Captain Handsome UK asks, what's up with the Old School quest giving vague combat level recommendations instead of saying must be able to defeat a level 184 goblin?
Not really vague, quite definitive. Like, we recommend you have this combat level. I don't know. I think I disagree with Captain Handsome. I don't think they're vague at all. But I guess then the other side, like why do we use player combat level over NPC combat level? I think it's because NPC combat level can be like really misleading. So a really good example of this is Underground Pass. Take Underground Pass, like the maximum combat level creature you have to fight in that quest is like 90 something, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that high. So if we just said, oh, Underground Pass, like there's a level 90 something like demon in it, that might not seem so bad. But obviously you'd probably actually want to be quite considerably higher combat level for that quest than you would an equivalent quest of a level 90 boss in, because of all the other stuff that goes on that quest. So recommending a combat level for the player like is a bit more like definitive, I think. But at the end of the day, it is just a recommendation. Like difficulty, varies depending on the person. So I guess to a certain extent, sort of like if somebody knows they're not great at combat, don't worry, Captain Handsome, I'm not suggesting you're not great at combat. I'm just saying if you were not great at combat, then maybe you'd like look at the recommendation and go, oh, okay, so it's recommending 60, but maybe I actually need to be combat level 70 because I like that's just better for me sort of thing. And that's it. They are just recommendations. They're just sort of like guidelines, I guess. I do think player combat level is probably the best guideline to go with. It's the one that's going to be most helpful. Because NPC combat level can be very misleading. What if you can just safe spot the boss, for example? Then combat level's meaningless at that point.
Just go and give it a go. Why not? Whatever level you are, do it. Then you'll find out, I think. Cool. Mod Druid has kindly said we can extend just to get the last 5 questions in. So let's crack on. Maladon asks, as new quests like this roll out, are there any intentions of introducing new, more efficient skilling methods like the range right next to the bank in the Myths Guild? It'd be cool to see some sort of thematic intention, if so, like a furnace, anvil, bank being near each other for the dwarves questline.
I think we do this quite a bit. I think like maybe not as thematic as like dwarves, but like with Prith that had a like really good at anvil and furnace near a bank. So it still was semi like thematic, so it was in the elven clan that specialised in mining and smithing. So yeah, I think we'll probably keep doing that where it's appropriate.
Imagine also it'd be based on how big the quest is as well. So you don't want to give someone this really amazing thing for just such a small quest.
Yeah, depends on the quest, Obviously, the one at Myths Guild, you've got to do some big boy quests for that, so makes sense. Cool. Francis Rossatano. When, if ever, do you think a goblin boss might be added to the game?
Zanuck is the boss of the goblins now, right? She's in charge.
Is this goblin boss? Is it a mind goblin?
Oh no! A poor goblin.
I'm not going there. Not going there.
This question.
No, let's not.
Quickly move on. Kitter6660 asks, even if we don't see the Chosen Commander questline, I would still love to see Zanuck's crossbow being added. You think this might be possible?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, easy. All right, 2 more. We got the real Timmy Turner. Keldagrim is one of my favourite cities. Is that region getting some more love soon? Continuing the dwarf storyline or introducing something brand new involving them, other dwarfs, some more unique farming in there? What do you guys think?
I think we need any more farming. We've got plenty of farming to go. Maybe something more dwarven thematic to go in there instead.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Cool. And finally, the Damos ask, wonder how the ornament kit will work with the degradable tentacle whip. Will it just be unequipped when the charges are used up or be destroyed?
We spent the whole stream talking about lore, then you just finish off by throwing a question about ornament kits. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, there you
go. You know what? Destroy it. Destroy it because I added this question.
Yeah, we'll implement it just to just because of this now. So yeah, thank you, the Demos. This is your doing. So cool. All right. With that said, we do have a question for Mod Errol though.
Question for me?
Yeah, question for Mod Errol. We'll quickly do that one then before we wrap up. In a postbag section, the Chaos Elemental was referring a piece of lore. Can you give us any hints as to this?
Can I give them any hints to this, Modad?
No.
Okay, I can't. I don't make the rules.
There you go. There you go. Okay, cool. I think that just about wraps up everything. I'm going to quickly go through the announcements again, and we will say our goodbyes for this stream. So, !poll 76. The blog for poll 76 is now live. Have your say on clue scrolls, tour of armor, pet insurance, and much, much more in this upcoming poll. Use the command in the chat box below to see all of the proposed changes. ! Game update. Land of the Goblins makes its way to Old School in our newest game update. Type that command down below and check out all the details on this classic quest, as well as the new Hope Spheres Will mini quest and all of the other changes and bug fixes we've made. And finally, ! Stream summary. If you missed last week's general live stream Q&A, we've got a complete transcript ready to help you catch up, so use that for more info. Thank you, Mod Errol, Mod Ed, Mod Tide, for coming onto the stream. Thank you, Mod Druid, behind the scenes. Thank you, chat, for watching. Any last words from you guys?
Goblin boss underneath Lumbridge, who knows?
Who knows? Mod Errol, how did you find your first stream appearance?
It was fun. Thank you all for being nice to me.
Awesome, awesome. I'm sure we'll welcome you back very soon. So, cool. With that said, thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.